Nuclear fusion is where you join two light nuclei together, for example, hydrogen. Easily mistaken with nuclear fission. Nuclear fusion, think about the word fuse, which means join together. So what happens when these two light nuclei join, they fuse together to make a larger, heavier nucleus. So nuclear fusion is the joining of two light nuclei together to form a heavier nucleus, and in the process some energy is going to be released. Where is this energy coming from? It turns out the energy comes from, if you compare the mass at the beginning and the mass at the end, it turns out the mass at the end is slightly less. So some of that mass has been converted into energy. So this is where Einstein's famous equation equals mc squared is used. So we can use a decrease in mass, the mass that's disappeared, and times it by speed light squared, and you get the energy that's being released. So nuclear fusion can occur with not just hydrogen, but many different nuclei. So for example, if we try to join these two nuclei together, we could, but however, it's going to be very difficult because they're both positively charged. So they will repel each other with a very strong electrostatic repulsion. So because they're positive and like charges repel. So this is why we need very high temperatures for fusion to occur. Even with hydrogen, we need very high temperature and pressures. And this is normally found in the center or core of stars. In this example, a student is attempting to explain the process of nuclear fusion. Suggest some improvements to the student's answer. So the student's answer is two light atoms joined to make a bigger atom. Okay, we wouldn't use the word atoms, you'd say two light nuclei joined to make a bigger nucleus. Okay, and instead of using the word bigger, you could say a heavier nucleus. And finally, you want to also explain where the energy comes from. You want to say that some of the mass from the two nuclei that are joined together is converted into energy.